Welcome to another Covid-19 vlog. Absolutely shattered today. Woke up thinking, oh, it'd be a nice quiet day today, we've done everything, and it turns out it would be Wednesday. Losing track of days. Wednesdays are always busy. Started out shopping for us, ended up shopping for Frida, somebody we look after, and a bunch of other people, and I thought, oh, I want to do anything Monday now. And then the wife convinced Frida that I need to go out Monday as well, so I didn't save any time whatsoever today. I just created work for myself. Anyway, something happened. One of the news broadcasts given by our honest government that's never lied to us at all ever, not during Brexit, not during Boris's election, and not during the last general election. That's sarcasm, by the way. They've been sounding like somebody very familiar to me. You see, the reports are saying there could be 2 million people extra made unemployed during this outbreak. That brings the unemployment rate to over 3 million. The Chancellor was also saying he can't protect every citizen or every business, despite the fact they introduced all kinds of funds to help businesses and self-employed, and haven't really implemented everything yet. They've been a bit slow off the gate. They said, yes, we're going to do this, and everybody went, they're doing so well. But they haven't really done anything with it yet. You know, only a small handful of people. Only 20% of the loans, for instance, have been given out since they announced it. 20%. So they're not really rushing out to help anybody. It's like me standing here going, yes, today I'm going to give everybody a free pancake, and then not doing it. You know, I may be giving a pancake to my wife and say, see, I've done it. The wife got one, and everybody else has done without pancakes. It's that kind of thing. You know, they move their lips, say what they're going to do, and then just walk away and have a cup of tea, don't do it. But anyway, they said, businesses that are strong, robust will be able to survive this, and basically inferring that anybody that goes under must have been a weak business to start with and not strong enough to survive even basic economic things. And I thought, I've heard that before. Last time I heard that was in the 1980s. When another government, another Conservative government, said exactly the same thing. And there was over 3 million unemployed then as well. The person I'm talking about was Margaret Thatcher. See, I left school into what I like to call Thatcher's dole queue. She said any business that can't compete should just close the doors and go under. And they did. Hundreds of thousands of businesses went under. My hometown got decimated by that. Basically, what the government did at the time, they abdicated responsibility. They were the ones responsible to make sure our businesses could compete, and then they didn't do it. They made sure our businesses just were all left on their own, and they went under. And the unemployment rate just stayed the same for a long time. They were the ones effectively created the long-term unemployed back then by making that situation. And what we're seeing again now is exactly the same situation. This time under Boris Johnson. Last time it was Margaret Thatcher, this time it's Boris Johnson. Same language, completely the same rhetoric, same end result. Massive unemployment, businesses going under left, right and centre. Lots of talk about what they're doing, not much action based on what they should have said, what they said they were doing. So we've got a situation now where they're standing up in front of the country, giving these speeches going, and yes, every person in the country will get a free gift voucher for Amazon for £500. We're going to send food parcels to the vulnerable. We're going to send lots of PPE equipment to the nurses. And as soon as this camera stops rolling, I'm going to forget all that and just go and play pool. And that's pretty much what they've been doing. I mean, the number of loans given out, like I said, is only at 20%. And they've had over a month to deal with that. They could have dealt with that ages ago and they haven't. So you expect them to be faster off the mark, like given the fact we're in the middle of a crisis, but no. And the PPE equipment, they're accusing doctors of throwing it away, you know, not using it, wasting it. Meanwhile, the doctors say they don't have enough. You know, who do you believe? The doctors or politicians that are known for lying? Politicians that have been proven to be liars over the last 4 years. Has the media and that are starting to hold the government to account now for that? To be honest, I've never really stopped. Because this situation, I mean, some people to me, right, I mean, in every election or referendum, you get people that don't really follow politics, listening to what the politicians say and going, they're doing such a wonderful job, without knowing that they haven't actually delivered on what they just said they were going to do, you know. So, you know, they don't follow through with the information, so they just think whatever comes out of politicians' mouth is what they've actually done. See, if I was Prime Minister and I said to him, yes, everybody's going to be employed by the end of this year, right, no unemployment, then they would think, wow, he's just got rid of, he's just got rid of unemployment with one swift stroke. They'd never checked to see if I actually done it. And them kind of people are very, Boris is doing a wonderful job. And I'm having to correct them. I'm actually pointing out, right, that they don't have the PPE equipment. They knew about this. You know, they should have been planning for this, in January. Instead they go, herd immunity. And then they never did anything until March. So they wasted 2 months. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. And I said, this wasn't a good job by any means. Says, in fact, if they'd started earlier, the chances are we'd be out of lockdown by now and life would be returning to normal. Instead, we're going to face years of this. Well, not years, but several months of this. 7 months of restrictions because our government was a bit slow. Our death rate's rising so fast that people think we're going to overtake Italy, and we nearly hit 1,000 over the weekend. It's starting to stabilise right now, but that doesn't mean it's going to stop. And if they cut the lockdown now, it's just going to get worse again. I mean, if they'd done the lockdown when it first started in the areas it was in, the rest of the country could have been functioning normally, and the areas that it was in would have been the only areas locked down. And as it spread, the lockdown each area individually, we could have had a rolling lockdown. The country wouldn't have suffered as much as it is. Instead, we've got businesses disappearing left, right, and centre, going under. Just closing the doors because they can't afford to be out of business this long. And that's the result of these Conservatives. And to be honest, when Cameron came into power in 2010, Gordon Brown before that had been doing a kind of a fund thing. He'd been like borrowing to keep businesses open, borrowing money and then spending on the economy to keep everything running, keep jobs secure. As soon as Cameron came into office, he cut that. He said, no, that's the wrong way to do it. He cut that. And ended up borrowing more than Labour had borrowed, right? Labour plus the historic debt that goes back 100 years. If you add the historic debt and Labour's debt together, it was less than what David Cameron borrowed, whilst David Cameron was telling everybody that Labour borrowed too much. And the reason why it cost them more is because whilst the people were in jobs, they were paying taxes. And the second they lost their jobs, Cameron had to come out with all these lazy sods, on the dole. Vote for me and I'll get rid of all these people, or support me and all these people have to work. Well, actually, he's the one that made them unemployed. His policy made them unemployed. So as a consequence, they had less money coming into the coffers. So we got hit rather hard. In the Thatcher years, the same thing happened again. So 3 times in my life, I've seen a Conservative government reside over an absolute economic disaster. And this is just another one. I've not seen Labour do that, during my voting lifetime. But I have seen the Conservatives do it 3 times. So what does that tell you? Anyway, I was out today, and the shop's pretty empty until about 10:30. Even then, it was fairly quiet. It was the same yesterday. I went to pay some stuff, for Frida again, and there's nobody there. I had to go and see my daughter, check she was all right. Mental health issues. Keep an eye on her and some other people, that need to be comforted in this kind of time, shall we say, because they're not well. And it was quiet all over. It was very quiet all over. And today I was in Aldi, no queue at Heron's even, no queue at the chemist. Very quiet. People were saying people were staying at home because they didn't like the queuing on Good Friday or Thursday or whatever it was. I think it's probably true. Especially considering the people who would have brought up loads of toilet roll, the people who had a bit more money than most, the middle classes. And if you look at the areas where the police are patrolling to clamp down on breaches of the lockdown, it's middle class areas. Right? So the middle classes are the ones that caused a lot of these shortages. They're the ones buggering off to the Dales for a walk. They're the ones, you know, sitting out in the street breaking all the lockdowns whenever they fancy. The poor people, what I've seen, they're stuck in their house paying. It's only my neighbour who's just too stupid to realise she's putting her life in danger, because she is breaking it. Everybody else seems to be respecting it. I've been past a lot of people in their gardens working hard, keeping it clean, doing their house up, a bit of DIY, but they're not charging their own to be in it. It's not in this area. This area is quite safe, considering you know what's going on. But you go down there, any middle class area, you'll see several examples of lockdowns being breached. So something about earning a little bit more money makes people's brains shrink a little bit more as well. That's just something I've noticed. Right? But I'd be interested in seeing a survey, see if that is the case. See where all these 3,000 something fines have been. Were they all in middle class areas? City centre middle class areas? Or some of them in the poorer areas? I'm betting they're in the middle class areas. The areas where you'd expect people, you know, to have a bit more sense. Just feels that way to me. Anyway, I'm going to get off because I'm really tired. I've been really busy today, shopping for 2 people, running around checking on a third, none of which was expected. So I'll see you probably tomorrow. Although right now, I'm not thinking of anything I need to do tomorrow, but there again, my brain is dead. So see you later.